Hello all, and thank you for joining Ceipal's webinar series, Winning Strategies for Staffing Businesses at Critical Times. For today's webinar, Ceipal's top sales representatives will present Ceipal's top features to transform your business. Our experts from Team Ceipal include Matt Gropp, Catherine Morrill, Jonathan Castruccino, Patrick Mayham, and Ceipal's very own CTO, Amar Chadiparala. We'll cover 10 features in total, including candidate matching and ranking, passive candidate sourcing, built-in e-boarding, email validation, and more. We are going to dive right in with Matt, who will be presenting Ceipal's candidate matching and ranking and passive candidate sourcing features. Matt is an experienced SaaS sales rep with a demonstrated history of helping organizations streamline workflows with technology. Matt, off to you.
Hi, good afternoon all. Thank you for joining. As Tracy had mentioned, initially we're going to take a look at our candidate search and match functionality available within Ceipal. So for the first example, if we take a look at our test Java developer position here for ABC Corp, and we click into that position, you're going to see the AI search and match matching profiles button along the top here above your job description. Essentially what the system is going to do with this feature is scan your entire job description, pull out the keywords associated within this description, and match your applicant's database of resumes for those exact same skills and necessary requirements for the position. So as this loads here, you're going to see a list as close to 100 as the system can possibly generate of only the highest ranking and matching candidates to that position. Essentially, the major value add here would be eliminating the time that your recruiters are spending scanning, searching, and validating resumes prior to the submission process. So the system is going to do that automatically for you here and provide you with a percentage-based match score to your applicants for the position. So if I take a look here in view resume for our first candidate, you're going to see their complete resume here on the right, as well as the weighted score on the left-hand side here. So as you can see, the skills were approximately, or were exactly an 88% match, and there was 28 matching terms found in both the resume as well as the job description. So by clicking upon the skills, the system will highlight where they are found within the resume and provide you with just the key insights directly into that resume, where to look for prior to your submission. We also have the pertinent job titles, an education background if necessary, certifications, and an industry background for that specific position. Across the top here is where recruiters or whoever is going to make that submission can go ahead and do that directly from the position or from this screen here. You can also tag that candidate to the job, send them an email, or we can actually clone that exact resume. And what the system will do now is use your candidate that you had found with the highest ranking compatibility score, use that resume as a gold benchmark standard, and try and produce as close to 100 matching resumes within the system to that profile in which we're cloning. So now we have 96 candidates whose resumes are most closely related to your benchmark candidate, and that list is presented here. You also have the ability to dig in and filter the results further if necessary, and view your job description here. So again, we're just increasing our submissions, or our submission time to submission, and therefore hopefully going to drive the overall placements for your organization. Secondly, we will take a look at our passive applicant sourcing feature. And what this specific feature is going to do is, if we take our test Java developer position here, again, you're going to click into the position, and upon clicking the process passive applicants button, you'll be able to filter in your search criteria for that position, increase the net of potential candidates you have to fill that open role, and then bring those candidates into the system through our extension with LinkedIn. So you're going to see our process passive applicants across the top, and you're going to see the state, city, and job title pertinent with the position has already been pre-populated, as well as the necessary skills within that we're looking for. If I click the button here to show only profiles having contacts, that means that the resumes we're going to source from publicly shared access points similar to a Google, a Glassdoor, or a GitHub, where applicants have just simply posted their resume. They're passive applicants. They're not necessarily going to be on the job boards actively searching. Those candidates which we're going to source will have contact information associated with their profile. So I'll apply filters, and that search is now going to go out and source candidates that aren't necessarily actively engaged in the position, but are going to help build out your internal database and augment your candidate pool with passive applicants. If I come back to our job postings, I ran a search earlier to show you the results. So as opposed to the button saying process passive applicants, it will now just say passive applicants. And here's going to be a complete list of candidates, like I mentioned, that aren't necessarily on the job boards engaging with requirements, but are still, matching the search for the position you have open. So you have your overall score here, the cultural alignment, as well as a technical alignment, and a direct link to their LinkedIn profile, a resume, as well as their email and/or phone number. We're going to present you with one, if not both of those. And as you can see here, you're simply going to unlock those candidates, providing you with that contact information, their LinkedIn, and so on, in which you can then bring them into the system to move them further through the recruitment process if necessary. That's a brief overview. If anyone has any questions, please feel free to drop them into the chat feature, and I'd be happy to address them later on. Thank you. Shristi, back to you.
Thank you, Matt. Now we have Catherine on board. Catherine will now present our integrated job board search and CRM functionality. Catherine is a result-driven leader with expertise in business development, program management, and technology. She is also a SaaS solutions guru. So over to you, Catherine.
Great, thank you. Welcome, everyone. I am also glad to have you all here. I am going to today talk about just two main topics here of some of our best features. The first one I'm actually going to dive into is our what we call our integrated search functionality. And really the best part about this tool is that it's going to allow your recruiters to search candidates from all of your subscribed job boards as well as your database at the same time. And you're all doing this without ever leaving your platform. And so what we're going to do here, I'm in the platform, as you can see here, I'm going to go over to the advanced search. And let's say you all have an internal database that you're going to be searching the majority of the time if you're looking to fill a position. I'm going to pretend that I'm going to be filling the position of a Java developer this afternoon, and I want to not only see who my internal candidates might be, but I also want to go ahead and see if there's any potential candidates out there on the job boards that I am paying for and that I've already paid for these credits, and now I want to go ahead and use them. But I don't want to have to continue to go into different tabs and different screens and try and figure out how to bring them in. So if you have access to any of these job boards already, whether it be Career Builder, Monster, Dice, TechFetch, etc., you can easily integrate that in our system in the back end. So let's say that you want to go ahead and search not only your internal database, but the job boards at the same time. Now I have a personal integration here with Dice as well as my internal database. So you can go ahead and put in your keywords at the top, your title, and a certain radius that you would also like to search within. And then what's really nice is that you can have a separate search functionality within your internal database, as well as having a similar or different search results within your external database here, Dice. Now, you can go ahead and fill this in separately, or as I've done, I have had many recent searches, and I'm going to go ahead and click one of my recent search histories, and it's going to pull that search history that I have already pulled up before. And now what it's going to do is it's going to go ahead and review all of those skills, all of those job titles that I've been looking for, and it's going to show me my internal database results here. And it's also in the same screen going to show me how easily I can access all of my Dice candidates as well. And what's also really nice about this feature is from here, if you want to take any of these candidates from your external job board and pull them into the system, with the click of a button, if I want to pull in Paul here, I can go ahead and quickly see his skills matrix. And then I'm going to decide, you know what, I'd like to have Paul come over into my system as a potential candidate. All you need to do is go ahead and click, and that's going to automatically migrate that candidate over into the system. So some really wonderful benefits to having this functionality here. You can see the resume, but essentially it enhances the productivity because you're searching within the platform. You're not having to go to other places. You can also identify candidates significantly faster through using this method. And then the best part too that managers like to see is that you get to really optimize your job board credit usage, as you can assign who on your team is allowed to take certain number of credits. And so not one person monopolizes them. And you can also ensure that this person here, you can see, has already been downloaded by myself in the system here on 120. So if one of my colleagues goes to search for the same person, when they actually go and view their resume, they're going to be viewing them within the system as opposed to pulling and paying for an additional credit that they've used. So that's really the integrated search functionality, again, meant here to increase your productivity and keep you in the same platform. What I'm going to dive into next is a little bit different, but it's our newly launched CRM and email drip campaign. So here we are. I'm going to go over here into my back admin setup, into my CRM campaign here, which you can set up in the back end. What this is that we've created a way to automate your lead outreach so that you can consistently and constantly engage in high quality leads, as well as capture these high quality prospects that you've had. We all are interested in trying to get new clients, increase the amount of potential revenue we can occur. So we have built a way so that you can go ahead and create automatic email workflows and create campaigns with workflows and triggers so that while you're doing something else, the system is working for you. So here is just the really the dashboard of the number of different drip campaigns I've created. You can see that I've already marked a couple of them as off, some of them are on, and they are draft. To easily create a workflow, all you have to do is go ahead and select the module which it applies to, which is currently the leads. I'm going to just do a test workflow, and my description is test. You can go ahead and put as much detail as you would like. From here, it initiates your ability to create that initial workflow. What's that initial action trigger point? I'm going to say that I would like this to initiate essentially right when I create it. I would like to do it immediately. And then it's going to allow me to identify who do I want to send this to. I can send it to all, or you can go ahead and filter with specific types of ownership, revenue. Maybe you have drip campaigns related to something outside of just the lead name. Maybe you're trying a new vertical. I'm just going to say save. From here, you can now create what your drip campaign options could be. You could go ahead and send an email. And when you're selecting this email, you can go ahead and choose, do you want to send it to a lead contact name? You can also go ahead and pick from a plethora of the email templates that you've built, because our system allows you to continue to create custom email templates ahead of time. So all you have to do is go ahead and pick the one you've created, see that you've done that, and say, yep, that's my first one I want to do. From there, you can always add in wait time to decide before the next action item happens. And as you can see, as I can continue down the chain, you have many options to be able to choose in this workflow. You can automatically update fields. You can create tasks for yourself to perhaps call or have a colleague do it. You can even send text messages from the system as well and have those automatically send out. You can also make sure that if you would like to, you could say you want to wait until a lead responds before you decide another action. That's what's really nice about this, that I say, if a lead responds to me, I'm actually going to want to go ahead and now I want to send a text message, hypothetically. Or if a lead doesn't respond to me, maybe I'm going to send them through a few more email drip campaigns to be able to do that after I add in my mandatory wait time here. And you can continue on this train and this logic. So again, the best part about this platform here is that you can set up your campaigns. You will have to, in order to do this, you get to integrate your emails within Ceipal, which is a mandatory function to make sure that this works well, because it is a two-way email sync. Anything you send here will be logged in the system, as well as any responses that you receive from the potential leads as well. So what's nice about this, again, you save time. It's efficient, it's working while you're doing other things. And so we're really excited about this new feature that we have launched. If you have any questions, at the end of the webinar, just drop them into the questions and we can address them then. Okay, thank you for joining. And Shrishti, back to you.
Thank you, Catherine. Okay, moving on. Now we have Jonathan. Jonathan is going to do a demo of our business intelligence module and email validator. Jonathan is an experienced sales rep who has been creating partnerships in the SaaS space for over 3 years. Over to you, Jonathan.
Thanks, Tristy. Thanks everybody for joining the webinar. Very excited to have you guys here. I will be demoing today two of my favorite features. The first one being the Ceipal BI functionality and feature, as well as the second one being the email validator tool. Starting off with the Ceipal BI, what you're looking at right now is the dashboard. This is where everybody that logs into the platform, this first stop that they'll drop into. What you're looking at right now is a bunch of different reports where we offer you the ability to go through and create custom dashboards based on the Ceipal BI tool. I'll hop right into that right now. That's located up here underneath the quick links in Ceipal BI. Within the Ceipal BI tool, we give you access to a multitude of different standard reports. All of these reports have been based off of customer or client feedback over the past few years. So a lot of research has gone into these. These are the reports that most of our current clients require. So you have access to all of these reports, as well as if we go into any one of these reports, such as this team submission for clients, you can go ahead and edit any one of these standard reports as well to make it into a custom report. Outside of that, if we hop back over to the custom reports section, you'll notice that we also have the ability to create a brand new custom report. Any of these reports as well, I should say, are going to be based off of any one of these modules listed up here, as well as within this drop-down menu. So you have the ability to create a custom report or have a standard report on virtually anything that is going to be living within the platform itself. With that being said, if we go into the to create a brand new custom report under a graph report using the job postings module, we also give you the ability to pull any data on anything that is listed within the platform as previously stated. For this example, I'll simply just use states, as well as for the y-axis, use the number of positions. Another great feature that we include with the Ceipal BI tool is access to over 25 different chart types. I believe there's 28 in total. From there, you can go ahead and generate the report or go ahead and save the report. Once you have that report saved, you have two options of viewing it. You can either view it right in here, or we can go through and using this team submission standard report, we can go ahead and export it to an Excel file or a CSV file. We can email the report to anyone within our internal team, as shown here. Or you can go through and schedule the report to be run and send it off to a specific subset of users. You can set the frequency to be daily, weekly, monthly, set it at a specific time. You can choose the specific recipients to notify, whether the period of time that report is going to be sent out, as well as set up any email configurations for those users. The alternative to setting up or scheduling those reports is simply setting up the report within the dashboard itself. This is very seamless and very easy to do. All that you need to do is go into edit the dashboard. Go ahead and click this little pencil right here. Select Team Submissions Client, click Next. You'll get a preview of what the report will look like once you click Save. It will go through and automatically change that dashboard in real time. All of these dashboards within the home page or dashboard section update in real time as well. So within a few clicks, you're able to go through and collect all of the data from the modules within your ATS, as well as analyze based on pre-programmed reports, based on the modules and roles, as well as automatically share all of the reports across your teams. So it's a pretty sleek user interface as well. As you can tell, it was very easy for me to go through and generate those reports or create custom reports. Moving on to a slightly different feature, which is the email validation tool or email cleanup tool, as we call it internally. The email cleanup tool is one of my all-time favorite features. It bolsters job marketing by combining CRM capabilities with AI or artificial intelligence. This tool is found in the message center usually. What I'll start off with showing you where to locate it under your profile. So if we click on our profile on the top right-hand corner, go over to View Profile. we can navigate over to contact groups. What the email validator tool allows you to do is create audiences based on job requirements. So what we're looking at right now is the contact groups. The system will sort your database into profiles based on key factors like job titles or experience levels, things like that. From there, it then filters out unqualified candidates so that you're never sending a job requirement to someone that's or to a contact group that's going to be irrelevant. From there, the email cleanup will go through, and you have the option to go through and clean those email addresses up. So what I mean when I say that is it will go through and validate those emails and ensure that when you do eventually send an email to that prospect or that client, that it goes through. This is monumental in terms of email distribution and things like that, because it's going to validate all the recipients on your distribution list before you even hit send. With that being said, our clients have reported a significant jump in email deliverability rates, sometimes as high as 90%. So from there, you're able to go through and really send out emails to the correct parties, and with the certainty that they're actually sending to them without lowering your domain authority based on bounce rates and whatnot. If we go over to the admin setup, over into the global settings, this is where you'll find the email cleanup settings. This is where you'll go through and you have the ability to allocate specific credits to any of your internal logins. You can see here that for this specific login, I can go ahead and allocate any credits. I have all of my available credits here. You can view cleanup history located down here, as well as you have the ability to go through and send email cleanup notifications based on who's using the credits and whatnot. Last part that I'll show you is in the message center. So if I hop back over here, just to show you guys what it looks like in real time. If we go through and we compose a mail and we add specific recipients, once again, these are all of the contact groups, system groups, things like that. We'll go through and select all, migrate those over, click add. What you'll notice over here is out of those 3,321 email addresses, only roughly 2,600 of them are valid. If we go into email statistics, we can go through and see which ones are valid, which ones have bounced, which ones have unsubscribed, which ones are invalid, and then once again, the total number that you're sending them to. So the real benefits here is the ability to reach the talent that you need, target the right audiences, and then strategize while you work to ensure that when you send out the emails, that they're actually sending out to the appropriate email addresses that are valid and not lowering your domain authority. With that, my time is done with these two features. If anyone has any questions, feel free to drop the question in the chat box, and I'll be sure to answer it towards the end. With that, back to you, Shristi.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Jonathan. Moving on, we have Patrick. Patrick is a dynamic, creative, and results-driven sales professional with 18 years of experience in consistent, ethical, and measurable success. Patrick is known for his outstanding presentation skills and will now demo our built-in e-boarding portal and SMS platform, Text to Hire.
So thank you very much. I appreciate all those that have joined us this afternoon. I'm going to go over two of our native applications, the first being the Text to Hire. So Text to Hire is a fully scalable SMS feature that combines real-time communication, personalized conversations, and the power of automation to engage talent and increase placements while providing a 50% or higher savings compared to other SMS services. So once in the SMS dashboard into the module itself, you can decide whom you'd like to send an SMS to by first choosing either your company's now text-enabled landline or one of the thousands of available numbers for you to purchase within the system. So once I've selected a number, I can then choose any of the modules to decide who the recipient of this text message is going to be. So whether it's a individual SMS that I'm sending out or a bulk message, I can do so directly through adding as many of those individuals directly here as well. So one of the great time-saving pieces is the ability to use templates that you've already created. So whether it's a new message that's just a brief introduction, or it's just to let someone know about a new position that you're trying to fill, by selecting this option, you can quickly send out these pre-configured and personal messages that pull information directly from the applicant or client contact or lead contact's profile, right? So anytime we can have the system pull that information for us, it's just less time that we have to spend personally finding that information and adding it in here. One of the things that I really like about this though is that it's all in real time. So if I am going to use this and send this out directly, so in addition to, so everything's in real time, right? So in addition to that, another great benefit can be seen here in the settings section. So one of the other things that the system allows us to do is to turn on the autoresponder. Basically what this is a tool that will turn on an automatic response to an inbound SMS. So in a scenario where you might be on the phone with another candidate, or maybe even you're away from your desk, the individual texting you will immediately be notified and informed that you'll get back to them as soon as possible. And so you can configure these messages however you want. You can have work hours, whatever it may be. In addition, you have your email notification. So this allows for multiple people within your organization to be notified of the inbound SMS that you're receiving. And lastly is the out of office notification, which allows you to select certain dates that you'll be away, and you can leave a brief message to the recipient so that they can, maybe in case of an emergency, or maybe even they have something urgent that they need to discuss, you can add all that information in here as well. So lastly, when it comes to tracking the performance of the text messaging, not only does Ceipal's Talent Hire track all of the activity, whether it's from the applicant themselves, I can see exactly who sent the text message, when it was received, but I can also see from a higher level, from an admin standpoint, if I want to see the performance of my team and see how well certain templates are doing, what the actual response rate is by user, and some of the other statistics, I can go directly to our custom reports BI model and see precisely what some of those stats are on the SMS module itself. So the next feature I'm going to be going through is the e-boarding. So the e-boarding module, for those really who've dealt with onboarding, know that it can be a very detail-oriented and arduous process. It can take days, if not hundreds of dollars, to complete. So the truth is really the onboarding doesn't need to be so difficult or expensive. I say that because Ceipal Talent Hire's native e-boarding portal allows you and your team to automate and streamline the onboarding process by eliminating the need for paper documents and thus manual data entry as well. So whether you want to create a document from scratch or if you wanted to upload a document, the system gives you the flexibility to create any number of these documents that can be sent, signed, reviewed, and saved in order to quickly and efficiently move your placement through the entire onboarding process. So as you can see here, we have these signatures. We can make them mandatory for a recipient to fill out. And then once it comes back, I, the initiator, can then move on to the next stage and fulfill the my signature, my end of the deal. Now, in addition to that, not only can we create these documents, but instead of having to send out individual documents, we can create checklists. So with the checklist, you can easily add all pertinent documents related to it, or let's just say there's certain documents that are required by the client to this checklist and send them out directly to the candidate and be able to manage all of those required documents from the candidate in one central place. The major benefit to that really is that these documents, the number of them varies from client to client, right? So with the ability to customize these features, recruiters can shorten that placement to start time significantly. So in addition to that, within the e-boarding module, recruiters can create email templates. They can customize the portal settings for the candidates as they go to enter in or log in and enter in their information. You can set approvers for the documents as well, and you can set reminders for yourself. Again, if there's any questions that anyone has, I'll be here after the demo. Please feel free to reach out. And again, thank you. Srishti, back to you.
Thank you, Patrick. And now we have our very own CTO, Amar Chadiparala. Amar joined Ceipal in 2011, where he was tasked with building an internal database of the most sought-after profiles on the market. Little did anyone realize this database would evolve into one of the most versatile and efficient HCM systems available on the market today, Ceipal. He will now demo our managed resume harvesting feature as well as our job board and VMS integration. Over to you, Amar.
Thanks, Srishti. Let me share my screen. Thank you. Happy Friday. Thanks, everybody, for joining the webinar today. So we are happy to have you here. Thanks, Matt, Patrick, Catherine, and Jonathan. So it was a pretty good showcase of the features. And I wanted to extend some of the features what our team members have demoed, so that we can show you how extensive that we are going to make each and every feature. Take an example of the texting feature that I think Jonathan was saying. I'm sorry, Patrick was saying. So we are extending that feature to furthermore, which we are going to automate that process too. So one of the things I'll show you, if I go to the admin setup. So within the text to hire, so we have a new section that we are introducing, which is conversational AI settings. So what this does, so the recruiters will be sending the messages to the candidates or to the leads or clients right now manually, but through the conversational AI. So we are going to extend that furthermore so that the system will behave automatically. So whenever there is any kind of communication that needs to happen with the candidate, the system itself will start the conversation, and it's a completely machine-based. So we have implemented the machine learning and then the natural language processing, so that the system would understand what the other person is saying, and then based on that it starts the conversation. So these kind of features we are constantly innovating, extending to the next level, so that these features will improve a lot of productivity to the recruiters, so that you really don't need to do a lot of manual work, but rather the system will itself take care of the automated activities. Similar to this, so we have one more feature that I'm going to talk about is the job board integration, what Catherine was explaining. So the job board integration that Catherine has shown, it's pretty much manual work, meaning every recruiter has to connect through Ceipal to the job boards, and they can migrate those resumes, and then they can search for, they can migrate all the resumes. So if I go to Monster Career Builder, okay, so I don't have the job boards assigned, so that's the reason I'm not able to get into those. This is what the job board which is assigned to me, so I can search for the candidate, I can migrate them. So this is a pure manual work. So to extend that, so we have implemented managed resume harvesting. So what we can go is, if I go to the quick links, go to the evergreen criteria, so this is where we are going to configure the harvesting, meaning any credits that you think are going to lose, or because your subscription is going to expire within the next 1 month, and Dice and Career Builder, they are monthly basis, so you can pretty much utilize those credits, because you'll be paying like anywhere between 80 cents to $1 for every resume, that you don't want to lose them. So that's where the harvesting comes into the picture. So if your recruiters are downloading the resumes manually, which is great, but if not, after the business hours, or whenever you want to run these schedulers, you can do that. So when I go create a new criteria, so this is what you can do it. So what is the download limit, and then what is the schedule, and how frequently you want to repeat that schedule, right? So it is a one-time activity, or you want to run the daily, or you want to run to a certain number of times, or till a certain date, you can do that. This is where you're going to select the job boards, and the criteria goes here, right? So once you schedule the criteria, our system is going to kick off the process based on the schedule that you configured. It's going to download all the resumes based on the download limit that you specify. And we exclude the resumes which are already downloaded, and then we have a setting what it has to do when it finds a duplicate candidate. So all these settings are there, and then the system is going to bring in all the resumes based on the criteria. And this is completely managed harvesting. Managed in the sense, we are managing the harvesting for you, meaning you have your own job boards and you're configuring. But for this, you really don't need to maintain any servers on-prem, meaning within your office, you don't need to maintain any servers, but rather, Ceipal is going to, do everything for you. So that's what a managed harvesting means. So, and once this downloads, it's going to send you a notification that how many resumes have been downloaded, what are the duplicates, so on and so forth. So that's what we call as the statistics. And every criteria has its own set of you can see here, so how many resumes have been downloaded, what are the duplicates and everything. And we have given the option to do a mail merge right from here. So let's say it downloads very recent profiles like 20 or 30. Right from here itself, you should be able to do a mass mail for all of them, so that if any of the candidates are willing to take up that opportunity, they'll be responding back to you. So that's the benefit of harvesting, which is a very efficient way of using your job board credits. And over a period of time, if you are going to build your resume database by migrating the resumes manually through the harvesters, your job board spend could be decreased over a period of time. So rather instead of depending on the job boards completely, you can look at your internal database first and then go to the job boards at a later stage. So that saves a lot of money for the companies. The next thing that I'm going to talk about is the VMS integrations that we have. So right now we have integrated with almost like 28 to 30 VMS systems, like pretty much Fieldglass, Beeline, PeopleClick, Provand. There are a lot of them, so we've integrated. So these jobs are going to come into Ceipal system in real time. Real time in the sense, whenever there is a job posted on the VMS system, then we will be able to pull that jobs into Ceipal system, and we distribute the jobs also to the assigned recruiters. So we have a setting in the admin panel for that as well, wherein you can assign, let's say I'm going to configure a field glass for one of the buyers, which is Intel in this case. If I go edit this one, so this is where you're going to see the assignment part. And then there is an option that we've recently introduced called as a business units. So every company can have multiple business units. Like, if you're working in healthcare, you're working in, manufacturing. If you have a division in India or in the UK, anywhere else, you can create a business unit to track down how that business is performing. And then also here, you should be able to assign the jobs that are coming from the VMS to the appropriate people, within appropriate statuses too, right? And then here there are a couple settings that you can see, which is the notes notifications. Notes notifications are something, some of the VMS systems like Beeline, Fieldglass, they send the chart messages quite often, right? It sends a message to the suppliers, and then those notifications will also be coming into Ceipal system in real time. So we pull them, we create as a note again as the job, we send a notifications to all the recruiters within Ceipal, who are using Ceipal or who are assigned for that particular job. So we notify them in real time. So that way, you're eliminating the manual work of bringing the jobs into Ceipal system. It doesn't matter, when you get the job from the VMS, it's a weekend, after the business hours, before the business hours, doesn't matter. The system will bring that into Ceipal system and then assign to the recruiter so that they can start working on it right away without any delay. Because the time is very crucial, the turnaround time. But then probably if you submit the profiles within the first half hour or hour, then there is a possibility for the closure. So that's where we are bringing all these kind of automations to the system, which will work as a productivity improvement for your teams. And if you see here, every job that is coming from the VMS, it gets represented with this small icon. If it is coming from Fieldglass, you can see a Fieldglass icon. If it is coming from Beeline, you see a different icon for that. So that's how we represent that. And also we have one more setting that you also can enable. When the job is coming from the VMS, you can also push the job into the job boards right from there itself without you do that manually. So I can just select this one and I can go post it on all the job boards. To avoid this manual step, there is one more setting here in the admin panel, VMS jobs auto publish. So you can also publish on the paid portals, but just because you have to be really careful on when you are assigning these things. But when you come here and then enable this option, any job that comes from the VMS goes into the free job boards automatically without your intervention. So that you publish the job into Indeed, Glassdoor, CareerBuild, the CareerJet, a lot of other job boards. Your job will have a lot of visibility, and then you keep on receiving the resumes for that by the time you start working on it. That's the benefit of the system. So we are cutting up the manual work there also for your recruiters. And we've recently partnered with Fieldglass. With that, we are going to implement an option to submit the candidates right from Ceipal to the Fieldglass system, which is a tremendous help for the recruiters. They really don't need to make the submission in two places. Rather, they make the submission within Ceipal. Let's say if this job is coming, this job came from the Fieldglass system. If one of the recruiters is making a submission within Ceipal for that specific job, the same submission can also be pushed into Fieldglass, without you logging into the Fieldglass system manually. So we are avoiding the recruiters to log into the Fieldglass again manually to make a submission, which is a tremendous improvement, and which is a tremendous productivity of the recruiters. Also, everything is managed through Ceipal system. Any submission updates, any submissions that the recruiter has to do for those jobs, everything is going to be covered within Ceipal system. So these kind of productivity improvements, that a lot of them are there. So within 10 minutes for each of us, we might not be able to explain each and every feature in detail, but we'll be more than happy to get on a personalized demo. So post any questions you have in the Q&A session. We'll be more than happy to reach out to you guys to schedule a personalized demo. We can walk through the whole portal in detail then. So with that, Srishti, back to you. Thanks again. Thank you all.
Thank you, Amar. Thank you so much. Now I would request all our speakers to please turn on their camera. Wonderful. So now we will be kicking off with the Q&A period. All right, so we have our first question. Is the AI matching function an add-on? This is a question from one of our customers.
It
Amar,
is,
if
yes.
you could answer that.
Go ahead, Matt.
Yes, it is one of our add-ons. If you reach out to whomever, if you're a current client and you reach out to whomever your sales rep was, they'd be able to provide you pricing with it. Or if you are not a current client, feel free to reach out to any one of us here on this call, and we'd be happy to give you that information.
Awesome. The next question is for Catherine. Is Catherine's CRM function an add-on feature?
I'll take it up, Catherine. So it's not an add-on function, so you should be able to use it. The system is, the feature is coming inbuilt. It's not an add-on feature.
Okay, all right. The next question, you shared information about your automatic email campaigns, which looks great. We've seen some of our emails perform great and others not so great. What do you recommend to make sure these email campaigns perform the best they can?
So that's a very good question. In fact, a lot of customers keeps coming back and asking, what could be the best practices for that. It's very important to use different subjects, different content every time that we send the email. So as long as you send a very generic subject saying, okay, hot list for today, or Java opportunity available for Java developers, so on. So for those kind of emails will be they'll be ignored or they'll be moved into spam, because a lot of ISPs right now, like the ISPs in the sense, the service providers, it could be Gmail, 365. These email providers are becoming so smart, so they always kind of keep filtering those kind of emails and then move into spam folders, or they will give they'll be moved to a different sort of folders and everything. So as long as we use innovative subject lines, I get tons of them. I always tend to open them. Then I feel, oh, okay, it's not that much useful. So those kind of emails we have to be coming up with creatively. Then that definitely be improving the delivery rates. But from our end, we are doing everything what we could do to improve the deliverability. So we are helping the customers to work with them, to make their reputation a lot better, their domain reputation, the email delivery. So we are doing everything what we can. But even if the customers also follow some sort of basic guidelines, to think creatively while they're sending email, definitely that improves a lot of deliverables. So that's where we have introduced the text to hire platform to boost the productivity and also get the responses from the candidates, because a lot of people are not responding on the emails that quickly. So but wherein the text messages the responses are so quick, because people are spending a lot of time on their mobile, so that they'll be a lot faster in responding.
So we have this one last question, and this question is for everyone. You all shared a lot of great features. Thanks for that. But if you could choose one that is your favorite, which one would it be and why? So Matt, you can start off.
I think right now my favorite feature would probably have to be the SMS texting. Just from a productivity standpoint, I think there's a lot that it can bring to the table there. And I believe it's one of the only solutions like it on the market that's fully integrated with an ATS.
Jonathan?
Yeah, for me, it's definitely the Ceipal BI feature. I think that is a pretty immersive feature to have. We did a recent webinar, about a couple months ago with a company called Voca, and they touched on being charged an additional cost for custom reports and things like that. So the ability to go through and pull data from any number of the modules is pretty powerful, and then added on that is the ability to go through and create those custom reports on top of it is very, very huge. So that's my personal favorite feature. On top of that, it comes baked into the platform. It's not an additional add-on. So
Awesome. Catherine?
So my favorite feature would probably be one of the ones I presented, which is the automatic email campaigns built into our CRM function. One, because the majority of other platforms out there do not offer it. And two, I love it that it's working behind the scenes while I'm trying to do, or perhaps a recruiter is trying to do something else. It's working and doing some functionality to reach out and get new clients. So who doesn't like the fact that it looks like you're doing twice as the amount of work than you are doing at the current moment? So I think it's a great feature.
Patrick?
So I would say that presently my favorite feature is the CRM campaign feature, simply because when it comes to reaching out to potential candidates, having the ability to go to war per se with multiple tools, being the text messaging, your LinkedIn messages, and email, and then of course the SMS. It's going to put your company above your competition, right? And at the end of the day, we're trying to find different ways to find those candidates faster, get in touch with them quicker, and move them through the entire interview process. And knowing that we've built this native application that's incorporated where other companies charge, it is just a tremendous achievement for us and our team. And I really like it. So.
Awesome. Amar, if you would like to give yours.
In fact, Patrick would definitely love it because one of his enterprise customers is behind him, so he definitely loves that. Yeah, so for me, it's product itself. I like it, so it's not something bits and pieces because I love everything. The Ceipal BI, SMS, CRM, the harvesting and everything. Because yeah, definitely.
Wonderful. We have one last question that we can take. So, jobs closed or on hold on VMS, are they reflected with the appropriate status on Ceipal?
Yes. So when the job gets changed on any other VMS system, so we also update the status of them into Ceipal system, and then we also notify the recruiters or the assigned members to that job. That the job is moved to so on so status. They can either stop working on it, or if it is active again, then we also let them know that the job became active again, so start working on this. Yes.
All right, awesome. Ceipal is proud to host its third virtual Ceipal Connect event on 11th of February from 9 a.m. EST onwards. This event will highlight the upcoming and newly emerging trends in staffing, strategies, and best practices that lead to staffing success. Please do visit our website to know more and register yourself. And for any other further questions, please email us contact@ceipal.com. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining. Have a great day ahead.